That Metal Interview.
And we return with another badass installment of That Metal Interview podcast. And thank you guys for joining us. We have a tremendous guest, legendary Max Cavalera of SOULFLY, Cavalera Conspiracy, Go Ahead and Die, formerly of Sepultura, and he joins us to promote the tour, the current tour that already started, of course, the U.S. tour, North American tour of Cavalera Conspiracy with his brother Igor Cavalera, as they pay homage to the albums Beneath the Remains and Arise, which both are tremendous landmark albums for us thrash fanatics and metal fanatics. So anyways, let's check out a song from Arise. Let's go with Dead Embryonic Cells. We'll be right back. Traveling back in time, if you will, back to 1991, the album Arise from Sepultura. Great jam there, Dead Embryonic Cells. You guys just heard that awesome jam. You guys can stream it, of course. And congrats to Max and Igor on their current tour with Cavalera Conspiracy as they tour North America with Leon on bass and Mr. Dan Gonzalez of Possessed on the guitar, right? On the guitars, along with Max and Igor, of course. And here we go. Let's check out our conversation with Max Cavalera. Enjoy. Welcome back to the show, That Metal Interview podcast. You're in Arizona. Where are you at right now?
Yep, Phoenix, Arizona.
Awesome. So many bands and tours and projects to cover. Let's talk Cavalera Conspiracy, right? You guys are hitting the road May 22nd in Albuquerque. Are you excited for that?
Yeah, very much, man. I think that's gonna be just a lot of fun playing those old songs, and we got some really good players involved. And I think that those records are really fun to play. They're full of energy and full of riffs.
Yeah,
there's a lot of riffs.
yeah. I play some guitar. I play guitar, and those are some tough songs to play on guitar, man.
Yeah, they are, but they're fun. They're also, that's the thing about that that I remember about making those records was you kind of went blind, kind of like jumping off a cliff. You just kind of went from riff to riff, just piecing it all together, kind of like making making a puzzle.
Yeah,
that's the fun of it. I love records like that. I love it. I think that sometimes the more you think too much about it, you ruin it. So a lot of the Believe There Remains, Arise stuff, it was like a lot of the first ideas was what we end up on the record, and it was kind of like make a collage or like building a pyramid, just put the one on top of the other.
Yeah,
I'm having a lot of fun relearning the stuff for the tour. We had to relearn all those riffs, and that's a lot of great fucking riffs all over the whole records. And we're playing a lot of it. We're playing. I think this time around is the first time we are playing more than 90% of each record. We only leaving 2 songs off, which is Meaningless Movements and Hungry.
Okay.
Everything else we're playing. So it's a long, good show,
Are you guys including or playing anything from any other albums, or is it just strictly Beneath and Arise?
I think though in the end we might throw some jams. Like it's always fun to surprise the fans with, which I probably will not tell you what we play for a surprise, so it doesn't ruin it. But definitely some gems. There's a lot of great from other records songs that we can play, and even some cover songs that people are not maybe they'll be surprised to hear. But we're definitely gonna add some to it to make the show even more powerful than what it is.
There was a song that came in later on Beneath the Remains called, I don't know how to talk Portuguese. It's Ahora a vez do cabelo nascer. Are you guys doing that one? Or
that's a cover song.
Yeah.
That's actually a hippie guy, Brazilian, from the 60s.
Oh, okay.
His name is Sergio Mendes.
Okay.
He was in a very famous band from the 60s called Mutantes.
Okay.
Os Mutantes. So we made that song as a cover for him, also to raise money because he was in a mental hospital. He lost his mind.
Oh.
And it was a sad situation. The guy was he went crazy. He went to a mental hospital. So a lot of his friends were trying to help him, and so they put this album together. And and we made the cover of it. We made the cover of Sergio Mendes. But yeah, there's a lot of cool songs from the era. There's a CIU that we never played, Criminals in Uniform.
Oh, yeah.
Also, there's, Policia, of course, and the covers of Sabbath, Symptom of the Universe, Celtic Frost, Preparation of the Wicked, Orgasmatron. So many cool cover songs that we can also do it. So there's many options on the table,
Yeah. Are you excited to go back out with Igor, your brother? I mean, you guys have done this before.
We do, but every time we do it, it's more fun and more exciting, man. We're in that time of our life now where you just get to really enjoy, man. You did all the work, and now you just kind of like reap the benefits of all the hard work. Those records were not easy to make, and we worked hard for them when they came out. Now we get to just jam and kind of like pay homage to those records, to the fans. So many fans want to hear them with the original vocals, original drums.
Oh yeah.
This is the closest you get to some kind of the original. But we have some really great players. We have Daniel from Possess playing guitar.
Yeah.
There's an amazing guitar player, and Mike's playing bass. Mike came up from the thrash scene, from Havoc, and so it fits perfectly with what we are trying to do. And I think a lot of fans are going to be super happy to, especially this run. We are playing more songs. We are only leaving 2 songs off. I think they're going to be incredibly happy to hear all this material.
Wow, I can't wait. I'm a big fan of I'm sure you've heard this a lot. I was raised with Beneath the Remains and Arise, and before I went to school, I would blast it in my room, and and so we're all.
That's the fun.
Yeah.
That's the most fun of it. That's the most fun of it, to hear stories like that. I mean, out of all the people that are going to be at the shows, I think it's going to be a lot of them that have stories similar to you, where they heard Beneath the Remains when they was in school, or they heard Arise or Dead Embryonic Cells on MTV at Banger's Ball, and and then there's a lot of young kids that were not born when those records came out.
Yeah.
But they still love it, and they're excited to see it. So they get the first chance to connect with this music like this. I think it's a great opportunity to. I mean, if you like metal, and if you like, if you want to know the roots of where it always started,
yeah,
those two records are very, very much kind of like gateway drugs. They're gateway records.
Yeah.
For what came afterwards. That time was we are mixing a little bit of death metal, a little bit of thrash metal, a little bit of hardcore. So I think that, from those albums, it spawned so many bands and so many, just so many influence from so many different artists and stuff. Still to this day, these records are still influencing people in bands to play this kind of music. I think that's a testament of how timeless those records are. They are very, very, they get better through the years. The older they get, the better they get. And, we get to play them with better sounding guitars, better drums. So what people hear in the venue is going to be 10 times better than the record. So that's another cool thing about playing this kind of records 30 years later.
And a musician comment here. Before I heard Sepultura, I was jamming to Motley Crue, Poison, Rat, more of a glam thing.
Yeah.
And then I heard, later on, I heard Inner Self. And I was like, damn, I mean, it's kind of simple, the riff, but it's badass, you know, and you there's a groove to it, and you enjoy it, and then it speeds up and it slows down. And so, who came up with that idea? Who wrote Inner Self?
Well, pretty much, you know, I love all the skeleton of the song. I think the structure is very simple. It's kind of like, you know, it's like the old formula, you know, verse, bridge, chorus.
Yeah.
It's really effective because you get that real groovy, very infectious riff, which is the main verse, and then you get the chorus is a fast, kind of hardcore pace.
Yeah.
Kind of fast riff. So I think Inner Self, I came up with that riff, I think, was by listening to a lot of thrash, actually. You know, I was listening to a lot of, you know, Exodus and Testament and Dark Angel, even Metallica, you know, and that the main verse riff of Inner Self is very thrash. You know, it's very much kind of like an old school thrash song. But that's the power of it, man. That's the groove. And when you put some really cool words, because the lyrics are kind of like almost like a diary.
Yeah.
A page out of a diary. You know, if I never had a diary myself, but if I had a diary, I would have write something on the lines of, you know, walking these dirty streets with hate in my mind, feeling scorn of the world. I will not follow your rules. Those are very simple, catchy lyrics that everybody in the world can connect, especially if you're you know, a poor country. I think a lot of the poor countries connected more with Sepultura in a different level than they connected with the other bands, because we were from a poor country ourselves. You know, Brazil is third world. So I think we connected with all the Latin American countries. We connected with Mexico. We connected with the Eastern Europe. Yeah. And many people love that. Many people love that because we are kind of like, we are the voice for that, you know, to oppress people from those parts of the world, you know. So I feel very proud to you know, kind of like hold the banner of South America and bring it to the world. And it's something that I always feel. Every time we play Latin America, Central America, it's always fucking nuts.
Yeah.
The crowd goes super, especially Mexico, they just go fucking crazy, man. They love this shit. And especially these records. These records are like, you know, it's imprinted in people's DNA, man.
Yeah, awesome records, awesome work. So, real quick here, I heard an interview where you said, this is going back to when you were a kid, if you would cut your hair, your dad would buy you a record. And in one of those times you said you cut it and you chose Ride the Lightning.
Right.
Is this a true story?
It's a true story, yeah. It was a cousin. It was my cousin, and he was, you know, he just wanted to help the family, and you know, tried to get me to go, you know, go to the straight path, you know, the narrow path. You know, he didn't like my long hair, you know, so he offered me, you know, I say, if you cut your hair, but I'll give you I buy you an imported record, and I have my eye on Ride the Lightning. It was already, I already knew that they had that in the store, but the fucker went even beyond, and when I went to the barber, he asked the barber to give me a crew cut, like a buzz cut from Militar, man. I never agreed to no buzz cut, man. It was just hair, you know. But yeah, I cut it. I got the buzz cut. I looked like a Militar guy, but I had Ride the Lightning, man. That was my weapon, you know. And you know that record is still today one of my favorite Metallica records of all time.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a legendary album. So
yeah, amazing.
You guys are from Brazil, of course. How did Sepultura get signed and end up touring the world? For people that don't know, you know, how did you guys end up being a worldwide band? You know.
Well, that is a lot of many different factors that go into that. A lot of hard work, because we believe in what we're doing, and we work hard for those songs. But there was a lot of hustling, man. You gotta hustle, So I remember I got the free ticket to go to New York, like a Pan Am employee. I had to pull my hair back, and my mom bought me a cheap suit, a $5 suit.
Really? Oh.
So I look like responsible,
Yeah.
So I went to New York with a bunch of Schizophrenia records, and I gave it to a bunch of different record labels, and Roadrunner was the one that called. Now, the reason for our success worldwide definitely got to be our manager, which was Gloria, man. She worked so hard for us. She envisioned all these countries that we went. The record label was even like, why are you going to Poland? Why are you going to Russia? Why are you going to Indonesia? And she was like, well, I want to make them an international band. They come from Brazil, so they wanted to take the music as far as they can take. So it's not just us. We do the music, and we do our part. But there's so many people Gloria with the management, the crew making a good show, a lot of people in the record label, a lot of some of the press people that help, a little bit of luck. You gotta have some luck as well. All of that together is what created. But I remember the Arise tour was the longest tour we ever did. Still today,
really,
I have not done a tour it's something like 250 shows.
Wow.
in 1 year.
Wow.
It's an incredible tour. I like to repeat that with Soulfly at some point. I would love to play 250 shows within the cycle of an album. But let's hope that happens. But that was an amazing tour,
How was the experience having Dino on guitar on stage with Soulfly?
Oh man, amazing. Dino is he's a metal brother, but he's also a veteran, man. He's an OG. We call these guys OG. They're the original gangsters of metal. And me and Dino, we go back. We go all the way back to first time Sepultura in America. I met Dino, and it's kind of funny, because he was involved in the first Soulfly record. He plays guitar on Eye for an Eye.
Yeah.
And I had no idea I was gonna jam with him. Many years later. I always loved Fear Factory, and I always loved Dino as a guitar player. And it was cool because every night he kind of gave, when he talked to the crowd, he was always giving props to, we're making it happen in the Brazil-Mexico connection, me and, I'm representing Brazil, he's representing Mexico, and the fans just always went nuts every night. I'm not even talking about his guitar sound, man. His guitar sound, Soulfly never sounded dirtier, heavier, nastier. It was like that. You put that Fear Factory fucking machine sound on top of Soulfly, and it becomes a whole different monster. It was incredible, man. I really love jamming with him, and look forward to do more in the future.
Wow, what a legend right there for in the heavy metal world and the death metal, thrash metal world. He's just a legend, just like you were a legend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was great. And the fans love it, man, because they got to see, two guys that have done so much for metal every night in the same stage, bringing with that kind of enjoy, we were enjoying ourselves. You can tell, when we were playing the stuff, it was you can feel the happiness in our faces playing this stuff, That's something you cannot fake, you can try, but
right.
When it's genuine, true happiness, it cuts across, and people felt it. These guys are having a blast every night, and it was a lot of fun, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of like being a kid again, and we stop being adults when you grab a guitar and a mic, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you know, for me, music's always been there. It's kind of like I always said, music is my weapon, you know, because it is. It's what I use to fight all the stuff I don't like, and you know, there's a lot of negativity in especially in the media, in you know, internet. There's a lot of shit talking and all that. So you gotta have something that you fight against that bullshit. To me, it's music. I do it with music, you know, even though, but you know, SOULFLY is more positive, more like a positive kind of band, but still, there's a lot of songs on SOULFLY that are real hard, like Frontlines and Death Behind the Eyes and you know, Last of the Mohicans just hit super hard.
Oh yeah.
I use that as a weapon, and I really get motivated. Every record I make, I'm making like it's my last one. Like I would die for this record, you know. I go in the studio with that kind of thinking, like, I'm prepared to die for this album, you know. Like I take it so fucking serious, and you know, I don't know. I really love what I do, and I really love making records, making music. And yeah, we have a new SOULFLY coming out in August. I'm super excited for it.
Awesome.
And, you know, hopefully we get to do a lot of touring for that when that comes out.
Awesome. Looking forward to that. So as far as this tour, Cavalera Conspiracy, have you guys started rehearsing as a band?
Not yet. Right now we're just doing our own rehearsal at home by ourselves, but I think it's coming. You know, the guys are flying in here, and we're gonna jam for like a week. So we'll be ready for the tour, man. Albuquerque is gonna kick, and it's fucking cool because Albuquerque, we got Destruction and Nervosa on the bill.
I saw that, yeah.
United those bands. So yeah, so that's cool, man. I'm an old school Destruction fan. I love those guys from back in the day, and yeah, so that's gonna be a fantastic night of metal for Albuquerque. They're gonna love it. And then the rest of the tour, we have Healing Magic, which is my son's band. They're awesome, two-piece, kind of like mystical, real heavy stuff. And then also we're gonna have Warbringer and Cephalic Carnage, one thrash band and one death metal band to fit the styles of Beneath the Remains and Arise. So it's gonna be perfect.
Wow, what a package right there for the fans. This is a different question. Can we ever see a Morbid Visions or a Schizophrenia tour?
Yeah, man, of course. I think those are there's a reason those tours are successful, because a lot of people wants to hear them with the original voice and the original drums. And you know, I mean, going back to Morbid Visions, like the black metal era, Bestial Devastation, that's cool as fuck. I love that raw. It's a raw material. It's much less sophisticated songwriting, much more caveman songwriting, but real powerful, real raw. I would love to do those records, and also Schizophrenia and Chaos AD. Chaos AD was a big record for us.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's like the break the band internationally. You got great songs like Territory, Refuse to Resist, Propaganda.
Yeah.
I think when we do the Chaos tour, it would be a big one. But yeah, I think eventually we would do all of them. You know, like because I think the fans want to hear. We love to play. And it's kind of like, you know, to me, it's paying homage to those records that are so meaningful to a lot of people. I get to play them. It's just really, really fun. Those are fun albums to play, so I don't see why not.
Give us an update on Go Ahead and Die. With your son Igor Jr.
Right. So right now we are demoing. We're making the demos for the next record. So it's in the womb, you know, it's in the embryonic process. But we're gonna like jam some more after the remains tour. I think we'll have a record out next year for sure. And you go ahead and because we're gonna have SOULFLY out in August. So this year is gonna be just SOULFLY. Then next year, definitely go ahead and die. One of my favorite things to do. The whole old school death thrash mentality is awesome. I think we can make even a better record than the first one. I'm sure of it. I'm sure we can make a kick-ass second record, and I'm very excited for it.
Any update on Nail Bomb? Anything there?
Well, that one is kind of, you know, up in the air. I love to do more. We're never going to make a new album, unfortunately. Like, that's over with. I would love to convince Alex to make a brand new Nail Bomb record. That would blow everybody's mind, including mine. Never say never, though.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe one of these days I'll convince him we get to do it. But in the meantime, we can always do Nail Bomb tours. You know, we did one a couple of years ago. That's a fun record to play point blank.
Oh yeah.
I love that Nail Bomb is very like a cult, you know.
Yeah.
It's like a secret cult band, you know. I love that.
Yeah, it's awesome stuff. Very cool stuff. Awesome. Thank you, Max, for making time. And would you like to send a message to your fans listening to this podcast?
Hey man, I want to thank everybody, all the support, the love, and appreciation through the years. It's a long journey, and you know, I'll see you at the Beneath the Remains of Rise tour. It's gonna kick ass. If you call yourself a metalhead, you better be there. You better show up. And can't wait to share the new SOULFLY album with you guys. And thanks for being a metalhead. Fuck yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Max. Thank you for making time, and we'll see you in Texas very soon. Appreciate that.
All right, brother. Take care, man.
Much obliged. I am very honored to speak to a living legend that still lives and throws metal at us every day of our lives. And thank you to Max. Thank you to Gloria for helping us set this up, of course. And thank you to Max and Igor, Dan and Leon for thrashing our faces on the road, promoting Arise and Beneath the Remains. Two of my favorite Sepultura albums. I was raised with that stuff, so it's for sure my favorite albums. And of course, I'm a fan. I like all Sepultura albums. Schizophrenia, Morbid Visions, the EP, Bestial Devastation, even the newer stuff with Derek Green is badass. I love all that stuff. Roarback. I love all the Sepultura catalog, and you guys should check it out, man. Of course, so now we're speaking about Max. I love all of his, of course, projects, SOULFLY, Cavalera Conspiracy, Go Ahead and Die with his son. And check it out, man. Support Mr. Cavalera's socials. Support his bands. Go to his store and purchase merchandise. So, of course, download and stream and all that stuff. So, anyways, my name is James, and I thank you for being a part of the podcast and checking us out, man. Thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated. And don't forget to keep it metal.
That metal interview.